That's right, in the year 2000, Don Panoz brought over a slice of America. The American Le Mans series came to the UK for the first time setting foot outside of North America. Let's see how we get on in our BMW V12 LMR. Well, here we are then for another American Le Mans series race. This time we are in our BMW V12 LMR. This is the 2000 layout of Silverstone for the Silverstone 500 USA Challenge, as it was called back then. This was the first time Don Panoz and the American Le Mans series stepped outside of North America. It was sort of a precursor for what Don had planned next, which was as we take a drift-bound Stowe. Yes, Don had already had bigger plans after the first year of the American Le Mans series. He was a North America series. He stepped outside to Europe a couple of times, and then in 2001 he created the European Le Mans series, which was the race we did last week. As we get all out of shape there, going through Abbey, down through Bridge, one of my favourite corners on the old circuit. Absolutely love it. Sun glaring through our visor. Started this race quite early in the morning because the 500, I think it was 500 mile race was I think it was 3 hours in the end. We're not quite doing that. It should probably take us about 30 minutes or so. They did about just shy of 100 laps. I think it's like 98 laps or something doing that race. But yes, essentially this Silverstone race in 2000 was a sort of taster to see what the European teams would be interested in doing or joining an American Le Mans series style series. It's essentially Don's plan. By the end of it would have been sort of a transatlantic connection between America and Europe with one series where you could pick and choose where to race. As we get a good run on our teammate here, we're going to go down the inside into Stowe. We'll try not and spin it. This car is incredibly twitchy under braking, so especially when I go into cops, I'm braking fairly early. I'm not trail braking because it does want to swap ends very quickly. But yeah, say this race was incredibly competitive. So you had the during my qualifying was pretty accurate compared to what the realistic one, or the real race was. Even the real race. You got the Panoz, as however you'd say it, tomato, Panoz. Up the front with the Riley and Scott Raffinelli car, which was very quick during this race, although I think it ran into problems later on. And then the Audis, because this was their second season, they were up to speed pretty quickly actually, in the R8R. And then we all know how that goes with the R8, ends up dominating for many years, and the Beamers are sort of there or thereabouts. I think they do end up winning the race, so hopefully we can replicate that. Although we'll see how jittery this car is. As well as obviously we've got our GTS class with the Vipers and Porsches and Beamers as well. That was gearing up to be one hell of a fight for years to come in that class. But of course, unfortunately, this would be one of only 2 times. If you want to watch the other race I did, which was the only other time that the American Le Mans series came over, do click the link above. But otherwise, yeah, this was one of only 2 times where the series made it across. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough interest after 1 year, which was held at Donington. Yeah, it's a real shame it didn't work out, because I mean the year 2000 was really an incredible season for the second ever season for the American Le Mans series. I mean, it started off in Sebring, and then it was Charlotte Motor Speedway, and then did a little stint in Europe, which was Silverstone where we are now, and 1,000 kilometres of Nürburgring, and then went back to the US with Sonoma. To make our way through Maggots and Beckett's. We're going to get a good run here on the Audis. We jump to the left. We'll see if we can make this stick. I think we have the legs on him. Hang it around the outside. No. I don't want to go too fast as I got the grass there, because otherwise I will just might not have the same luck as I did in the first lap. We'll see if we can get a good run down to Abbey. I think we do. I think I might go for a... I've gone for it, but over to we light touch and have to redo all that work again. Yeah, so like I said before, all these cars are pretty equal footing. I mean, I completely forget to brake into Brooklands, and I think my teammate's gonna have a run on me. No, okay, we'll keep the position. But yeah, so the year 2000 was a mega second year of the ALMS. I mean, you could almost mistake it for an international event. I mean, it went to England, it went to Germany, it went to Canada, and it went to Australia for the Race of 1,000 Years, which I will be doing as a New Year special. Yes, I've planned that far ahead. I mean, there's only one time I can do that race, really, because it was held on the 31st of December. So, yeah, I look forward to doing that one. But I'll say it was an absolutely mega stacked lineup for its second year. And I'll say Don wanted... Well, he wanted all of it, didn't he? But unfortunately it didn't work out. But if you look to where we are in 2024, that's pretty much what happened. It's the combination of IMSA and the WEC. You can say the LMDH and hypercars, GTP, however you want to call them. You can race in either series. So Don was a revolutionary and just a mere 30 odd years before his time. But yeah, so it was a golden era of endurance racing then, and we certainly got that now. And I guess date this video, but BMW just won 1-2 at Indianapolis, wasn't it? Which is not really all. As I say, there's a Viper there, and the Audi decided to go for the overtake instead of I, trying to occupy the same space. But we managed to avoid them, so hopefully that position will stick now. I think we're up to 5th. We've still got quite a few laps to go, so I think we'll just take our time, although I am now just going to maybe send it up the inside. No, oh dear. Okay, I thought he had much better brakes than I did as we jumped back onto the circuit in a safe manner. Yeah, no, I thought he outbraked me, but he then slowed mid-corner. And the moment I apply any more pressure than I need to in this car, it will try and kill me. So, well, and again, I forget to brake for Abbey. I need to pull it together. Let's So with the free air, I can claw back the gap fairly quickly. It's just when I get stuck behind them, you do feel a bit of you lose a bit of air, especially through cops. Mags and Beckett's, it's not too bad, but I do take it a bit cautious. I'm not sure what gear to do Beckett's in. Second is too short and third's a little bit too long, so I'm a bit... I'll play it safely with the third. Now, as we once again we Tokyo drift out of it, and somehow I'm 2 for 2 now on impossible saves. I think that's my luck done. I think I just need to... That's it, I pushed a little bit too hard, tried to trail brake into cops, and yeah, it doesn't want to stay straight, so I've still got time. I say this car is a VRC mod, I believe, and again they do such mega work on making the cars look and feel and sound as what you'd hope they do in real life. But yeah, I mean these beams were sort of all or nothing really, weren't they? They were either lightning fast and reliable, or they binned it because they were so twitchy, or very unreliable. But it's mad to think that Beamer have only got one 24-hour victory at Le Mans with this car, but yet they have, was it over 30 24-hour victories at Daytona and Nürburgring combined, and a couple of 12-hour Sebring wins. It's and of course Spa 24 hours as well. That's it, yeah. Spa 24 hour, Nürburgring 24 hour, Daytona 24 hour. They have combined of over 30 24-hour victories outright, and yet Le Mans, they just have the one. And I mean, the 1-2 win this weekend just gone. I mean, it looks good. Weather played its part, I think, but yeah, unfortunately in this new era, the BMW haven't really been there. Again, they've got a stacked lineup of drivers, but just, yeah, they've just sort of been a bit nowhere really. And they haven't really, apart from Racer Squad, they haven't really improved on pace. I mean, the Alpines have gained a bit of pace. I mean, it's still Toyota, Ferrari, Porsche up front, and then you've sort of got Peugeot and Alpine behind, and then beams are just sort of there as we try and get past this slower traffic of those older Porsche, what are they, 994s, I think, could be wrong. But yeah, this was just before when, well actually no, the Porsches had the 996s in this race, as I gonna just absolutely nailed tyre wall. Well, I don't think they got two. I'm gonna say it looks heavier than it did. I probably should have gone to the pit lane there, but I think we'll carry on. Like I said, these cars are either bulletproof or they're not. So we'll wait for the tyres to clear off a bit, and we'll I think as we did have the Riley and Scott right up behind us. I think that might have been the Ascari I've just overtaken. Oh yeah, no, that's the Riley and Scott. I was saying earlier that the Raffinelli, that's the Lola, isn't it? That's, yeah, the Lola was a very quick car, and this would be was it the V? Yeah, I think it was the V10, wasn't it? Again, now we can pass these two Porsches again, and we've got a Viper off on the right there. Again, I think the Vipers were incredibly quick still, because they had, yeah, they were just winning the Nürburgring 24 hours. Yes, it was at 1999, and then 2001, 2002, and disqualified 2003 for a fuel tank or something. I think that was it. So yeah, so the Vipers were the GTS car to beat at this point. And then after that, it was the obviously Porsche and Beamer. Yeah, absolute monumental fight. To the point at which BMW, yeah, they got in a bit of trouble, didn't they? In 2004, was it 2003? I think they sort of walked out in protest that their cars. I mean, they reversed engineered their car, didn't they? That was it. They sort of built a race car and then turned it into a road car, where the rules were, well, the rules were interpreted that you built a road car, turned it into a race car. So yeah, so that legendary M3 GTR, is it E46? I'm not really good with my Beamers, but yeah, that legendary M3 GTR was supposed to race at Le Mans, and they didn't, because the ACO were going to be the ACO and just not be happy about anything. Which, again, I think I mentioned in the last video, the ACO were not happy with Don Panoz coming over, because I think he interpreted their rules a bit differently, and obviously he wanted control of endurance racing, not only in North America but also in Europe. And the ACO, obviously, they wanted the control. So we try and get past this Viper. I believe that's the what was that? The UK one? Yeah, the Chamberlain Motorsport one. That was, I think that featured in maybe some British GT as well. We've got the first gen Cadillac, I think, isn't it? Which unfortunately didn't. I mean, I say it didn't do well. I mean, it took a couple of years for that car to really get up to strength. They've got another Viper off there. Maybe the Vipers might have a little AI problem there, but or they might just be in the wrong place at the wrong time. But yeah, no, they say the Cadillacs, they were so the first time round of doing endurance racing, it took them a couple of years, and just as they were getting into their stride, and I think they won. They've got a couple of podiums. I think did they win Team Le Mans? I think possibly, or got close at least. Yeah, and then Cadillac or GM canned it because they didn't think it was going to go much further than that, which is a shame, because I say they only just started getting to their stride and they binned it. So because then actually they then concentrated into the Corvette program, which turned out to be pretty legendary in the end. So maybe that was the right call. But yeah, so at this point there were Corvettes to start with in the '99 race. There's just not any here, I don't think. None of them made it this far. So maybe this is as good a time as I need to do a track guide as we go through Cops. We're going to come up to a GTS class 996. We'll make our way through Megas and Beckett's down to 4th, down to 3rd. I'm going to try 2nd just to get a good run on this Porsche out of Beckett and onto Chapel and onto the Hangar Straight. Really open up that V12 now. It does sound absolutely fantastic. We'll make our way down to Stowe, and we're going to try and pick our braking point as our teammate as we get it all wrong. Maybe this wasn't the lap to do a track guide. Right, let's gather it back together and let's see if we can. At least we're back with our teammate now, so that's sort of like 6th or 7th. you get caught up with lap traffic, which I always say in the Assetto Corsa. I'm never too worried about catching back up to the leaders because they don't deal with traffic as well as, well, I'd say as well as I do. I don't deal with it later, but they do get hampered by it, maybe a little bit too much. So yeah, this is the old style circuit, so rather than turning right at where Abbey would be on the new track, you turn left at Abbey and you go under bridge, through Priory, Brooklands, Luffield, out of Woodcote, and then back onto the what would be just a start finish straight, although if you're using the other circuit, you'll start finish straight. Which I think is it lots of hotels on the left now or something? I've lost track of what Silverstone are doing. Aren't they building houses on the hangar straight as well? Yeah, I've just noticed that my tyres are really cold, so maybe that's it. Maybe I'm not driving hard enough. There's one of the Beamers. I haven't seen one yet. I don't think that's the correct livery for this race, but I think it's one of those unique ones where it's just a one-off, so there isn't one about, and I didn't have time to make it. So hopefully I'll try and do that. It's sort of like a burgundy, like the Yokohama style livery, but it's sort of like a burgundy and silver. But yeah, I think it was only for this race. So yeah, see if I can do that at some point. I still need to do that Panoz one I said I'd do last race. But yeah, so this is where the new start finish straight is now, and so you turn right at Abbey rather than this way through the chicane. Then the only bit of elevation you get on the track, you go down under the bridge. And so it's such a fast corner, and yeah, just I think Silverstone lost a bit of character in it, and they got rid of that. But progress is progress, I suppose, and say it's geared up to host Formula 1 and maybe World Endurance Championship, which is the whole point of this race, this little first season I've done. This is part of that. If you haven't watched it, you can look at the playlist I've created. It's just going through what realistic replacements there could be if and when the World Endurance Championship does return to the UK, what track it would be. And so far I've gone through, obviously the obvious choice would be Silverstone, and then I've gone for some more unlikely choices of Alton Park and Brands Hatch. So we get a good run on our teammate, down into Stowe again. We'll keep it wide as we've got a Panoz that's going rather slow. It's holding everyone up. We're going to go for it down the inside. I think we're now 3 wide. We've been hit by the Riley and Scott because our teammate maybe didn't know we were there. Just a bit more damage to what I've already got. Excellent. Hasn't slowed us down though. Right, let's see if we can get this Riley and Scott. I don't think we're gonna, so I think we're just gonna leave it. Maybe get a run. Alright, everyone just seemed to have stopped. Excellent. Right, and now we're going to make all those places back up again. As the Cadillac makes its way through once again. Probably wondering what on earth I'm doing. I now lost what I was rambling on about. Yeah, maybe now I'll do a lap guide as we come past the start finish straight. I'm going to go into Cops and break nice and early, grab 4th gear, no, grab 3rd gear instead by accident. Excellent start. Alright, 4th gear up to 5th gear, coming up to the Maggots complex, clatter the curb. Now coming into Beckett's, down to 2nd to get a good run, good drive out. Beckett's onto Chapel, onto the hangar straight. We'll try and pick up a toe here with the Cadillac up ahead. We might have the legs on them just about anyway. We'll pick our braking point for Stowe. We just about meet the apex. And then we line ourselves up for Vale. And again, this, as we hit the grass in this corner, is I take it a lot narrower than everyone else does, just because I have a bit more room if it does decide to, my rear end decides to try and overtake me as I accelerate out. Then we're down to Abbey again, where I seem to rear end everyone. And through the legendary bridge corner, I'll try and go down the inside of the Cadillac, although it's too much of a tight angle for me to do anything. Through Priory, through Brooklands now. So we'll try and sneak up the inside as a sort of very slow mid-corner, and then I do a quite good acceleration out of Luffield through Woodcote, and that's a very average lap of the Silverstone circuit from the year, I think it's from the year 2000 to 2003, I think this layout is. Yeah, you can see the sun's just starting to set. So I've got 16 litres of fuel left, so we must be coming up to the end of our, I think I set this to a 100km race, and I think earlier just noticed that I was saying 500 miles. It's not a 500 mile race, it's a 500km race. This Silverstone USA challenge. That's what I was saying. Yes, I've done a playlist for what I think are the likely replacements, also including Silverstone for the World Junior Championship return at some point, maybe next year, maybe the year after. So I've done Silverstone in the Valkyrie in the wet. I've done as the Panoz gets very sideways there, I think he might have a problem because they were lightning quick, and I'm not particularly the quickest car, and I was starting to be incredibly aggressive and try and go around the outside. He obviously wasn't happy with that overtake, or I've woken him up, maybe. We'll get the drive off the corner and he stays behind us. Yes, I've done Silverstone, I've done Alton Park, I've done Donington Park, I've done Brands Hatch. They're my four most likely scenarios. Alton Park, definitely, maybe not. Brands Hatch, definitely, maybe not. Donington, probably the most likely replacement for Silverstone, but I think at the end of the day it is going to return to Silverstone, and I think either way I'll be quite happy for the World Junior Championship to return. As I think I've been twice before, and I say with sort of this golden age of endurance racing, it'd be a shame if the UK were to miss out. So we've got a Porsche there doing some donuts in the grass. But yeah, I think Silverstone is the most likely scenario. Whether it is next year, 2025 or 2026, I don't know if they'll be replacing a race or adding it to the calendar. I think that remains to be seen. But yeah, I mean, I'm certainly going to go regardless. As I've always been a massive World Endurance Championship fan. I think I went first in 2012, perhaps, and I say since then I've done my research, and the American Le Mans series, the sort of early noughties endurance racing, I've said it many times, I know I keep saying it, but I absolutely love it. So if you like that kind of racing, then you'll get a lot of it on this channel, whether it be on Assetto Corsa or other games of that vintage. I say so the whole plan for this channel is just everything and anything to do with racing. You may have noticed I haven't really touched on F1, but I think so many people do it. It's not really. I used to be into it. Now there's so much hot air going around. I've lost interest. So yeah, so it'll be mainly focusing on endurance racing, touring cars, maybe some other open-wheeled racing. I think I've got an IndyCar race lined up for December, and also a V8 Supercar race lined up in December for a little series I'm going to do around then, as I once again get all out of shape and somehow I save it. I don't understand how I'm doing it. Honestly, it's not driving skill. And traction control's definitely not on, I can tell you that. I will admit I do use ABS because I use my trusty G27, and the brake pedal just feels like a sponge, so I've no real sense of what's going on. But yeah, the ABS is definitely off. No, traction control is definitely off. ABS is definitely on. Yeah, no, the sun's just starting to set now. See if we can pass this. No, I think that's more sensible. We're close to the end. Let's try and bring it home. Let's not do anything silly, although I've been doing that for the entire race so far. So yeah, I think, like I said at the start, the sort of results for this race, it was mixed bag, to be fair. I mean, it was BMW finished first, and Panoz second, and an Audi third. As we've got, I think there's another, was that a Riley and Scott facing the wrong way there? Or another Lola, perhaps? Yeah, and actually one of the Cadillacs finished 6th, actually. Yeah, they managed 98 laps in the end. And the Vipers finished 8th and 9th, ahead of some of the much faster LMP cars. Yeah, those Vipers were on another level. Yeah, unfortunately the Team Refinelli car came into problems quite late in the race, and say they were pretty much dominating the race for most of it, to be fair. In that Lola, it was great to see sort of a smaller privateer team taking the big guns. Yeah, unfortunately it wasn't meant to be this race. Yeah, and the BMO, it was sort of one success and one, I can't remember if you binned it or just a retirement. And I say, if you do like the American Le Mans Series, there is the official American Le Mans Series channel that you can go on and subscribe, because they have all the races from 1999 all the way up to about 2012, 2013, whenever it got taken over by, what was it after that? Was it IMSA? I think, off the top of my head, did it go to IMSA, or was it Tudor Sports Car, or was it the WeatherTech? I can't remember. But yeah, there's the sun sets on this race. Actually, I must say they were very enjoyable, even though my driving standards were about as poor as they usually are. In quite a tricky car, I nearly rear-ended the Viper at the last second. But no, I very much enjoyed that race, actually, and I think we're going to come home in 3rd place. A Panoz and my teammate finishing up ahead, so pretty similar to what actually happens. I'm very pleased with that. I'm going to sign off there. If you want any more American Le Mans Series content, then feel free to subscribe and like the video. It all helps. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you next time.